It has been a very long summer, and I can tell you it was every Friday we did a barbecue with our construction crew. On average, we had what, 80 to 100 of them kicking around. We were flipping burgers and dogs, different kind of crowd. But all very much the same, just very much appreciated what we were able to do. And it was lovely to have guests again around helping us. We got very intimate with them, very much like we are with you as our vacation club owners. You've been with us for many years. How long is the oldest, show of hands, oldest vacation club member? Let's go back 5 years. How many have been at least 5 years? All right. How many? Half of you. How many since the beginning, about 10 years ago? Oh, there's our virgin ones. There's our virgin ones. So you have all been a part of our history. This last year has been a year that none of us will ever forget. The overwhelming showing of support, compassion, love for a space, a place called White Point. We know that it means much more to so many folks from the images that we saw come forward, from the elements. And when we needed pieces because we didn't have them, we turned to you folks. Many of you, how many were with us on Facebook? We've got a handful. You guys are treasured because when I needed something like a photo of the old White Point quilt that we lost, that was 30 years old, we didn't have a photo. I took that thing all over, you know where in creation, but I'd never taken a photo. Well, we wanted to be able to show that to Bev Krause, who has assisted us in our journey in stitching White Pointers back together. I turned out to Facebook and said, help, anybody got it? Ann White certainly did. Ann White has been one of our major champions, and she had those photos, baby, and thankfully, thank you, Ann. Eventually, we were able to celebrate the history of that piece of our history as we went forward. And some of you today had the opportunity, and certainly throughout the past year, because I've seen you at all of our functions, you've had the chance to add your stitches to our new White Point quilt, which Bev Krause is here with us today. Bev, would you like to just stand up and say hi? This is Bev. Bev has been helping us stitch us back together. The quilt, those of you who added your stitches to it today, it's already been quilted. Today was the last stop in its journey. Over the holidays and the beginning of the new year, it will be framed and it will hang in the stairwell here in our new lodge. So for all of you that helped stitch us together, whether you suggested the ideas on our blog of what should be celebrated in it, or if you've had your hand in adding those stitches, thank you. When we hang that, it will tell the collective story of our last and past year's journey for all to enjoy. And I can tell you, folks, even in Toronto, when we had it at the Saltscapes Expo on the waterfront in Toronto, we have vacation club owners there who, they were not going to miss that show. Where's that quilt? And they were telling people that as they approached the waterfront park down there. So thank you to all of you for that. One of the other neat pieces that have happened along the way, and it was already put to bed before our fire, was Frances Jewel Dixon's book, Destination White Point. This book, we learned a lot of things about ourselves that we had no idea. So Frances, thank you. Who would have known how fortuitous this publication, this book would have been in our journey, and she did have to take it back. It had already been submitted, and then we had a fire. So it was brought back out, and she jumped right back in again, gathering the stories, added an extra chapter, so that we would have at least to that point. So today we turn the page, and we begin a new chapter as we head towards our next 83 to 100 years. We appreciate you, Frances, for your dedication and time and making it easy. She is here, so if you happen to have a copy or you're going to pick one up, get her to autograph it. Who knows? Who knows? Now, there's a few other things that I just wanted to be able to acknowledge. As you look around the lodge, as you finish up your brunch, meander through and admire the workmanship that did go into this lodge. It is the lodge that Nova Scotia built. The cleats, as you open up the doors coming into this conference center, we call them cleats. Those came from the Lunenburg foundry. When you look at the beach stone fireplaces, those are beach stones from the allowed zone on our beach. We'll call it the front yard of cottages. Because the storm threw them there, we were welcome, we had permission, to collect them. So White Pointers and the masons from Dover Masonry out of Westover collected those, cleaned them up, and that's what you see rising up from the beach outside as the pillars, and then have moved in through to the main fireplaces here. So appreciate those. Those were put together by our masons from Westover Masonry. When you look at the grills, that's Steve from Steve's Ironworks. With the WPs that are there, that's his work. When you look at the owls in the dining room, that's Craig Noblick. And he's got a raft of other pieces here. There's a bird bath on the stairwell heading to the crow's nest. When I spoke with him on Friday evening, he said, 36 hours, just the basin, flicking these colors along there. I said, it's very pretty. So we've got all of those pieces here, there, and everywhere. There's so many more. Our little people are back. Our little carved folks that Joe Winters had made for us. We lost them all, but they are back. We have 2 items that are presently in the main lodge, actually I'll say 3, that are in the main lodge that did survive the fire. One is the foundation stone. We pulled it from the rubble, and Robert added that to the foundation. It's actually just outside of the front entrance here, or I always call the beachside front entrance. To me, that's the front. Just outside the main door, the foundation that shoots down there, so every time you cross it, you're crossing over a piece of our history, because the foundation stone still rests there. On the pool deck, you will see Lucky the Lobster. Named by folks on Facebook, Lucky survived the fire. He was on the pool deck. During the fire, the pool deck area filled with water, protecting him, made out of fiberglass. When everything was drained, lo and behold, there's Lucky. So Lucky was touched up by Joe Winters. He's now back on that pool deck and ready for many more families to come. In the Founders Lounge, just Friday evening, we received back from the old lounge fireplace, there was a brass plaque, and it had the Founders Lounge in honor of Howard Elliott. Although he was not, now that we know, he was not the original builder of White Point, it was him for many, many decades that inspired and created White Point. We received that back because we had found this plaque in the rubble a day after the fire. We pulled it out, didn't know what we would do with it, but Robert knew we needed to do something. Friday it came back. It's bruised and tarnished, but it's polished up a bit, and it's on a plaque, and it's the 3rd thing that we have here still within. What we have not been able to, it isn't tangible for us to see and touch, but it's our memories. The fond ones that we had of the old lodge as we mingled around, but what I've heard all of you acknowledging is, you know, it's new, but it feels pretty much the same. So we hope that you will make many more fond memories in our new lodge that Nova Scotia built. I call it this my beach house. It's the best in Canada. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. One other person I just want to acknowledge, Steve Wilsack. Where are you, bud? Steve arrived. Steve's been a vacation club member and his wife for many years. Steve checked in on Friday and says, do you mind if I live stream? He's been live streaming to all the folks who haven't been able to be here with us. He's supposed to be on a getaway, but yet here he is live streaming. And the best part for me was yesterday, after we had our open house certainly, and him being able to capture our community open house that was just Friday afternoon, when we welcomed the Acadian First Nation for a smudging experience, which was very sacred and meant a great deal to us, at which they also presented us with an amazing gift in the spirit of friendship. Of course, thanks to, we were so busy running around, hadn't even thought about how we would capture that. Luckily, as fate would have it, we had Steve. Steve was live streaming and we had pieces overnight, so I'm not sure that he's even sleeping here. Yesterday, I went to the cooking class while I was at home getting ready for my own dinner party. Anybody here in Chef's Cooking Culinary, his Chef's Magic session yesterday? Yeah, I was there too, thanks to Steve. So thank you, Steve, for all that you've done over the years, and increasingly so over this past year. He's been creating small vignettes and experiences for us to share. So thank you. And so many more stories to be shared about all of this. We tried to capture it in this little piece that is is available out and around. So the story behind some of the pieces that you see, the stories that unfold, our Nova Scotia design team, Joe Zareski, who assisted us in creating this masterpiece of a lodge, who actually summered here as a kid, has been the mastermind behind what's been created here. So there's been so many connections along the way, so we celebrate some of those here. The last person I would like to thank today, because he's back, is Alex. Where'd he go? There he is. Alex has been back for the weekend. He was here the day of the fire, and he's back for more. So we're going to have him back. Now we still have one more door prize. It'll be our last. And then we're going to certainly invite you to stick around here, finish another square or a treat if you like. But please, by all means, go out and explore the main lodge. Go work off a bit of that lunch and have a game of ping pong or shuffleboard. Check out the kids zone and the pool. And since it's a beautiful day, maybe you'd like to go for a little stroll on the beach. Whatever you choose to do as you